It's All Things Considered. I'm Dave Lawrence. We are in our Atherton Performing Arts Studio. There's a new documentary you may have heard of. It's called Hearing is Believing. It's been included at the Hawaii International Film Festival, and it's by Hawaii-born director Lorenzo DiStefano, and it's about a gifted young artist without sight whose talents as a musician have stunned many big-name stars. She's playing at Medici Supper Club Saturday night, 7:30 show, and it's Rachel Flowers joining us today, our very special guest. Aloha, Rachel. Thank you for coming.
Aloha.
Great to have you here, and a big NPR fan, too, I should note. I've been watching on YouTube. You're kind of a YouTube star.
Yeah, that's where it started.
And that's where people found out about you, I guess.
My interpretations of Emerson, Lake and Palmer.
What's your earliest musical memory?
Remember when I heard It's a Small World and the Scottish bagpipes.
And you were just a little girl.
Yeah.
At 4, you beginning the Southern California
Conservatory of Music.
Yeah, 4 years old.
Yeah.
And that's where you began the flute?
That was piano lessons. Flute wasn't until I was like 10 or 11.
So it starts with piano.
Yeah.
What guided you to a second instrument?
Oh, I was listening to a whole bunch of different things. When Mom and Dad used to play at a church in San Diego, there was a flute player, and I always liked hearing the sound of the flute.
We have you here in front of our beautiful piano.
Bosendorfer.
Bosendorfer.
Yeah.
How does that rank?
It's pretty cool.
Okay. And you mentioned the song, backing up to the beginning of our conversation, you mentioned it. It was an ELP jam. First one that you said was on YouTube. Which one was that?
I think it was Carnival 9, the piano section.
You want to play that for us?
Yeah. That's like the first half of that.
It's incredible. It's Rachel Flowers here on All Things Considered. And so she's going to be playing tomorrow at Medici's, and people will have a chance to see this live in concert. You're on YouTube. I was doing my homework for this on YouTube, and so much of what you seem to have been inspired by is classic rock.
Yeah.
How did that end up being the kind of music that you gravitated towards?
I don't know. I would listen to a lot of classic rock on the radio. I first heard Emerson, Lake and Palmer at a friend's house with Mom and Dad a while ago. I was probably about 9. And I heard Trilogy. And then Mom found the best of ELP compilation. And then later on we bought all their albums.
So it comes from a friend's parents.
Yeah, his name is McRae.
Name some of the other bands then that you gravitated to besides the LP.
Some of Frank Zappa's music. Sometimes I like listening to the Grateful Dead a little bit. Fish.
The Zappa, if people take a look at Hearing is Believing, you'll be able to see some of these musical luminaries and both their reaction to Rachel and Rachel's interactions with them. The Zappa thing, how did it end up that you got to actually play with Frank's son, Dweezil?
I did a Frank Zappa tune on SoundCloud. I do a lot of Frank Zappa tunes there. Dweezil heard my take on these songs. Then when we went to the NAMM show, and we talked about performing on stage, and then we did the show in Vegas, which was pretty cool. That's in the film.
Right.
So then we tried to find some good examples of Frank's music, and I was reading about him and a lot of times studying his guitar style.
He was a real big deal, and it was sad when we lost him, but to have that connection to his son.
Legacy.
Yeah, right. Peaches and Regalia.
It's a fun one.
Would you play a little bit of it?
Yeah.
Rachel Flowers on All Things Considered.
It's a fun one.
Unbelievable.
Thanks.
It's you are welcome. It's like chills.
Wow.
One of my favorites.
Yeah.
By Frank.
Yeah.
And
Me too.
Rachel Flowers just blowing people's minds here. HBR's Atherton Performing Arts Studio and the great Frank Zappa's music.
Yeah.
Again, it's Rachel Flowers here. She's tomorrow night at the Medici Supper Club doing a wrap-up to a week of appearances she's been doing in Honolulu based around the Hawaii International Film Festival screening of Hearing is Believing documentary about her. What's next for you? I know that you have a new record out.
Yeah, Listen.
Actually just handed it.
Yeah.
Listen, right.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is your first record. It's your debut.
Yep.
These are songs.
All originals.
All originals.
Yeah. Played all the instruments.
That's pretty cool. And so this is a debut album. This will help represent you as you go forward, no doubt. Well, I guess we could have you go out if you don't mind. I know that this program we're on, you actually know the theme song to it. Can you play just a little bit of the... Thank you, Rachel.
You're welcome.
Hope you had fun today.
Yep. This is All Things Considered from NPR News.